It's opening weekend across Major League Baseball, but at LakePoint Sports, we are already in full swing. The spring schedule marches on, and we now turn our attention all weekend long to the Prep Baseball Invitational. I'm Cory McCartney here at LakePoint Sports, and we are pleased to bring you our game of the day from the 14U division. We'll have USA Scout against ninth inning Blue Jays. First pitch in this one slated for around 10:15 a.m. I'll be joined along the way by Prep Baseball Georgia's Avery Hunt and our own Jack McCartney. We just wrapped up the first week of the spring break experience here. We'll have another week of that coming up, and we'll have a few more high school games during the Battle for Bartow, April 9th and 10th, so you will not want to miss any of that. But has some really exciting high school players on our fields this past week. Highlands Marengo 2026 catcher Zach Church is a guy who took full advantage of the Senior Future Games spotlight, parlaying that into an opportunity to play at the next level at Findlay. And the fourth-ranked catcher in the Buckeye State in 2026 caught up with Jack McCartney for this edition of Dugout Chatter.
I'm here with Zach Church, the fourth-ranked catcher in Ohio and University of Findlay commit. Zach, man, thanks for the time.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
So first off, you played in the 17U National Championship, and then a week later, you go on to play in the Senior Future Games.
Yep.
What was the Senior Future Games like, and what was the environment kind of built around it?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and like you mentioned, having the week before the National Championships, obviously playing at these fields and getting used to the environment helped me just kind of relax when I knew a lot of eyes were on me. But yeah, it was definitely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and had a blast doing it.
So, I mean, being here a week before, did it help you kind of relieve some of the stress of the, it's a high-pressure, high-stressful situation. So did it relieve some of the stress going into that kind of event?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, there was coaches everywhere, even at the National Championships, and it just skyrocketed even more when it got to the future games. But just getting used to coaches seeing you and just keep playing my game. Just trying to play my game.
So after the future games, you end up committing to the University of Findlay.
Yeah.
What was the one thing that you were like, Findlay's the place for me? What really made you want to become an Oiler?
Yeah, Coach Palm Coach Mullins made a really good first impression on me. Just made it feel like a great fit from the start, and when I took my first visit there, it just felt like a good fit, whether it was obviously baseball part of it, but also educational and everything like that. Just from the start, it was really nice, really good fit.
And the high school season for Ohio, you guys actually start way later than most places,
right.
Even in Illinois and all those kind of surrounding states.
Yeah.
Do you feel like starting later in the season or in the school year really help you guys at all because of the fact you get more time to practice and to really grow as a team?
Yes and no, because I mean we have a lot of multi-sport guys, so we just got a couple weeks ago from basketball, wrestling, whatever they might be playing. But definitely having the extra prep time for everybody else really gets us ramped up and ready to go for sure.
You also play football as well.
Right.
What kind of training do you do depending on the sport? What's the biggest difference between trying to get ready for football and then trying to get ready for baseball and vice versa?
Yeah, I mean, with football, it's more of just a hard-nosed game where you're wanting to move bodies and just be physically ready. And I definitely think baseball is more of a mental game, so you got to think of the mental part too while you're training. So it's not as straightforward as what football is.
All right, Zach, man, thanks for your time.
Yeah, I appreciate you. Thank you.
Great stuff there with Jack and Zach Church again on his way to Findlay to play for the Oilers at the next level. And we're excited for this upcoming week of the spring break experience as well. We're going to have a really great broadcast for that one for you. 10 a.m. on Thursday, it'll be Marysville, Ohio against Lincoln Way West. So you will not want to miss that one of all of our broadcasts available for free on Facebook, X, and YouTube. So join us, tell a friend. We'd love to have you. We're going to take a break here in studio. Players are still out on the field warming up as we get ready for this matchup between USA Scout and the ninth inning Blue Jays, and we will rejoin you as soon as we get ready for first pitch here from LakePoint Sports. Welcome in, Cory McCartney, joined by Prep Baseball at Georgia's Avery Hunt. This is our game of the day between USA Scout and the 9th inning Blue Jays. Avery, man, good to have you back in. It's been a bit of a break with you. Major League Baseball now underway, but man, we've had it going for a while. They just had to catch up with us.
For sure, we get it started early, and I think we run longer than the big leagues do.
That's right.
So, yeah, just got 162 is nothing really when you think about it.
Mikhail Wood's going to start things off for USA Scout. He'll be followed by Zachary Lester and then S.C. Spradley. Tyler Vanderwalt is going to be on the mound for 9th inning Blue Jays. We'll bring you our Windscreen Factory starting lineups in between the half innings. And this one, always a bit of a wrinkle when we've got a team that plays a game before this. Some added machinations for us to get their starting lineup put into the system. But Vanderwalt on the mound, Woodstock 2030. 18th prep baseball event for him. This is one of those tournaments, Avery, where obviously we get a lot of local squads. But when you get USA Scout and you get 9th inning, those are two teams that are fixtures here. And that's why you got, almost every kid playing in this game is double digits when it comes to how many prep baseball events they've played in.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It's two organizations that we have a really good relationship with. And, it's kind of crazy that we're at the point now where 14-year-olds can have double digit. I feel like we just got started here like 2 years ago, but
yeah.
I look at the calendar every day and I'm like, oh, we've been doing this a while now. So, it's super cool to see, and obviously really appreciate both of those groups that do a good bit of business with us.
I see some C.J. Abrams vibes here with Mikhail Wood. He's got the hair, he's got the accents. Hillgrove 2030. Got exit velos around 80.9 for him. 13th prep baseball event for this 5'4", 116-pound righty. We just wrapped up, as we were mentioning in the intro there, the first week of the spring break experience. We actually have the guys from Marengo Highland in my native Ohio getting ready. They're going to go over and play Alatoona today. Then they're going to the Braves game tonight. So those guys getting the full-on Emerson, LakePoint, all of it experience. Mikhail Wood sends that one flying into right field, but that'll be caught for out number one. So they even have T-shirts that say ATL on the back of it. So those guys are all in and fully taking advantage of not only what we have to offer here, but getting to play Alatoona, going to the Braves. They're taking it all in.
Absolutely. It was the first year in a while that I haven't really dabbled a whole ton in the spring break stuff. Kind of let Vincent Grillo kind of handle that, and he's done a really good job with it. So a good week, and then I think this next week's going to be a pretty big one.
Yeah,
a bunch of groups in here.
Yeah, it's going to be a doozy this next week, especially Lincoln Way West. A year ago they brought Connor Essenberg down here, who ended up being an Atlanta Braves draft pick. But man, they've got a pitcher that we'll see hopefully in our game when we have a broadcast on Thursday. That's on his way to Notre Dame. So they've got a lot of big-time prospects. And, man, that was vicious secondary stuff there from Vanderwalt. Got an 0-2 count now against Zachary Lester and North Cobb Christian 2030. It's a Rising Stars preseason All-State in early March. And I apologize. The pollen getting to me these last couple days. Dribbler, short has it, gathers. Takes a second, throws in time. That's out number 2.
Knock on wood, I've been really good on the pollen department with allergies until this morning. So woke up at about 4:30 and I was like, oh, cool, allergies are here.
Well, it's inescapable because we're in this box where, the air's coming in, it has nowhere to go. But then, also out running and stuff, I'm not doing myself any favors. What we need, rain, is what we just like a nice little, car wash of a shower to get everything off. I don't want 36 straight hours of rain that we sometimes get around here, but just a little bit. That one's right up the middle. Oh, that's going to be a base hit. Second could not get to that one. So a 2-out single for S.C. Spradley. Lowndes 2030 making a long trip up here to play in this one.
I think you're going to get some rain maybe for your broadcast on Thursday.
Okay, well, there you go.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday looking.
Yikes.
It's that time of year where I spend the first 30 minutes of my day on the Weather Channel just to make sure everything's doing what it's supposed to do, but we'll figure it out.
Courtesy runner replaces S.C. Spradley at first after the 2-out single. Gavin Chastain now up, puts that one down the third base side, and that one's going to be fair. Might have our first run of the game. Chastain make his way to second base. Courtesy runner will hold behind at third, so runners at second and third now for USA Scout. And getting to Vanderwalt here early on and being awfully aggressive at the plate.
Turned on that inside pitch there and pulled it down the third base line, and pretty good play there in the left to kind of keep that ball from getting into the corner where, that runner from first is able to come around and score. So,
well, now with 2 on, 2 outs. Now going to move along here in the order, and his mama calls him Eugene Donald, but we're going to call him Geno McKinley Jr. at the plate right now. First pitch, he drives that one right up the middle, drop it down into center field. McKinley's got himself 1 RBI. Does he have 2? His throw's cut off by the catcher. He's back safe, and we've got a 2-run lead for USA Scout as Geno McKinley Jr. comes through with a 2-run single.
USA Scout not wasting any time. That's 2 straight hitters jumping on that first pitch, and all of a sudden it was 2 up, 2 down. Now it's USA Scouts had 4 straight guys reach, and it's 2-0.
McKinley at Cherokee 2030 delivers, was at Rising Stars preseason All-State in early March. He now gives away to Carter Hunter from North Paulding. North Paulding we were talking about this a week ago, 7th in Prep Baseball's national rankings, a team that, at least I think a lot of watchers in the state of Georgia's mind, just kind of came out of nowhere. Everyone was talking about, obviously, Etowah. We were talking about, the likes of Buford. And then North Paulding's like, we got something to say now. 7th in the country is just absolutely unreal.
And it's just the guys at North Paulding have done a really good job, just building a perennial powerhouse, really, rolling guys in year after year, and it seems like they're in the conversation for a state title every year in those higher classifications. Well,
sitting 7th in the nation right now, they maybe have their sights on something higher than just a Georgia State championship. Stoneman Douglas was named Prep Baseball's national champion a year ago, and obviously you got to deal with the likes of IMG Academy, and I know Buford and Etowah are far from done, but really nice showing for the Wolfpack here early on to get themselves on the national radar like that. That one's going to be down the third base side foul. So we're going to Caden Hunter at the plate right now for USA Scout, and he's to be followed by Hudson Burgess, another North Paulding 2030. 2-0 lead for USA Scout. 2 runs coming off the bat of Geno McKinley. We've got a 1-2 count here to Hunter. Obviously, after that first couple batters, they came up with a game plan here against Vanderwalt on the mound.
Absolutely. It's like they're just being super aggressive early in the count with fastballs in the strike zone, so it's paid off.
Well, there's another one, 69.1 off the bat. That one is into left field. Diving catch, did he make it? He, in fact, did. Nice job in left field there to get the inning ending out. The USA Scouts got a 2-0 lead. We're going to take a quick break in studio. When we come back, we'll have our Windscreen Factory starting lineups.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for one? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
And as promised, here is our Windscreen Factory starting lineups. We've already seen for USA Scout, McHale Wood, the center fielder, Zach Lester, left fielder, and S.C. Spradley, pitcher and DH, as well as Gavin Chastain, Geno McKinley, Carter Hunter playing third, Hudson Burgess behind the plate, Preston Powell playing second, Ryler's register, the right fielder, and hitting 10th, the extra hitter, Caden Norman. On the ninth inning Blue Jays side, they'll be led off by Jake Johnson, followed by Charlie Briller, Ezekiel Smithers, then Jackson Clifton, Brady Brillhart, Jackson Ross, Asher Ditto, Clark Schmidt, Tyler Vanderwalt, who we've already seen on the mound, and Tyler Robinson. All right, here we are. As promised, there is S.C. Spradley on the mound for USA Scout. You see it when you do the abbreviations for the initials. So you see TJs a lot. You see DJs. This may be the first SC that I've ever seen. That seems like. That's like a published author.
Yeah,
I see S.C. Spradley. I think that's going to be on a bookshelf.
Yeah, that's the guy that you see when you walk into Barnes and Noble.
That's right. Well, he is a Lowndes 2030, first prep baseball event for him. So on the flip side of us talking about USA Scout and ninth inning being fixtures here, Spradley making the long trip up for Lowndes, getting his first action here on these fields. Nice throwdown there from Hudson Burgess. And he will have Jake Johnson, Charlie Briller, and Ezekiel Smithers coming to the plate for ninth inning Blue Jays. Not a lot of Ezekiels. Right on. Stephen Wilson Jr. tells us not a lot of guys named Gary anymore.
Yeah.
But definitely not a lot of guys named Ezekiel anymore. Got tickets, by the way, to go see Stephen Wilson Jr. in December at the Roxy. Looking forward to that one.
Good for you.
Jake Johnson going to lead things off again here for ninth inning Royals. Blessed Trinity 2030. There's another club that's got something to say in the state and national rankings.
Got their big guy back from the World Baseball
Sure
Classic.
did, man. So. That was it was so much fun having Joseph Contreras in here. 2 weeks before he ends up facing off against Aaron Judge and Harper and Schwarber, and just kind of joking with him about what's that going to be like. And he's just, I'm hoping I get out there. And to me, the best part was that Gavin Green, his catcher, was like, I literally told him how he should attack Aaron Judge, and then he did that actually in the game to get Judge to ground out and do a double play, which was unbelievable.
It's pretty sweet. It's not too often that you get to go back to like math class.
Yeah.
After facing Judge and Harper and be like, oh yeah, it's another day.
Yep. 1-1 count here to Johnson. One goes back foul. So this being the first prep baseball event for Spradley, we don't have metrics on him, but we're seeing that fastball sitting around 72, 73 range right now. 5'11", 155-pound lefty. Misses on the secondary. Pretty smooth mover, though, down the mound. Not a lot of herky-jerky, not a lot of wasted movement from Spradley. He's now got a 2-2 count here against Johnson. Swing, miss, got himself his first strikeout in his first start on our fields. Just challenges him, 73 miles an hour, and Johnson swings through that for the K.
About as good a start as you could ask for there. Just, nice, easy 4-pitch strikeout to kind of get things going.
That'll give way to Charlie Briller, Sequoia 2030. Event number 12 for Briller on these fields. Right-handed pitcher and first baseman. Miss arm side there from Spradley. So we were talking when we came in before we got things going. The Braves getting underway last night. New era for the Braves. That obviously Charlie, think about Charlie Weiss. That would be something, right? If Charlie Weiss was coaching the Atlanta Braves. Walt Weiss stepping in for Brian Snitker. I saw Snitker in the broadcast booth late in the game there. But a new era with Walt Weiss. And obviously, everyone's talking about Braves vision. Got the whole crew back, the typical announce crew that we're used to, with Brandon Gaudin and C.J. Nikowski and Jeff Francoeur, Paul Bird back on the sideline, all guys I used to work with back in my Fox Sports South days. But kind of cool to see a new spin on things. And being a bit of a broadcast nerd, one thing that I really loved last night was that we no longer have that ticker down at the bottom of the screen. It didn't give you the scores. It was just a nice, clean look, similar to what we do here on our games. But I thought their score bug, which is, for those not in the business, is that big thing at the top of the screen there that tells you what the score is. Nice little one down in the corner. The only thing missing from it didn't have the pitch clock.
Yeah.
So I don't see I'd be interested to see if they make an adjustment there. But I thought the broadcast and presentation and everything was really well done.
Yeah, I figured out yesterday at about 4:00 that my cable provider or streaming provider picked up Braves Vision. Yeah. So that was after I'd already bought it the day before. So that was good. So if anybody needs a free Braves Vision, hit me up.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I think it looked cleaner, I think, and it's a lot easier to access, in my opinion. So
yeah, the one thing I did wonder, because when back in my days working around the broadcast, we tried to do in the early days of what was then SunTrust Park and then Truist, we tried to do a drone stuff there, but we were told with the proximity to Dobbins that we couldn't get FAA clearance to have a drone. somehow the Braves maybe they were like, we own this, we literally own all this, and we'll do what we please. But they had a number of drone shots last night, and it was really cool to see the way that they utilized that. But even they had a helicopter, and that was my thought, was that did they getting clearance to get a helicopter, the airspace was cleared, so then they could use a drone. I guess we'll see if it continues beyond opening night, if they keep using that as part of their broadcast offerings. But it was really cool to see how they handled it, and it was obviously a great game. And we talked about with the state of this Braves pitching staff, if Chris Sale's on the mound, it is imperative that offense steps up and backs him up, considering the state of the rest of that rotation right now.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, compared to last year, well, you got the Profar suspension out of the way.
That's
Went ahead and got that knocked off before the season started.
Ball gets away, and the throw over from Briller at first. Runner scoots into second. But yeah, that's a completely different mess. He's probably played his last game in a Braves uniform. I think next year they probably just buy him out, eat the end of the contract, and just move on.
I mean, there's no way you can start 0-7.
Yeah,
so
that's
true. We're one step in the right direction.
Pickens County's Ezekiel Smithers at the plate right now, with one on at second now, one down. Yeah, I think we're gonna certainly look at that Profar contract, and B.J. Upton, Melvin Upton was his own thing, but you can think about when other contracts the Braves have had that just haven't quite gone their way. But man, that's going to go down, I think, as one of the worst contracts in franchise history.
Yeah, luckily you get some relief from it from the first 2 years.
Yeah,
because he gets suspended. It's like, cool, you don't get paid. With BJ or Melvin, whatever he is going by now, Upton, at least he played. Like, he didn't play well, but I mean, at least he was out there. Well,
what about Cole? I was looking this up. Cole Hamels, $18 million he played. He made one start in 2020 to throw over, and that's going to be out number 2, but Hunter does advance to third. Made one start, 1 year, $18 million deal. So that one wasn't too good either, but losing a guy for entire stretches like this, now an entire season due to a second PED hit. And it certainly makes you wonder, like, first time, okay, maybe he was trying to live up to a contract. Second time, obviously a pattern, but it certainly makes you wonder, like, when he blew up in San Diego, what was going on? Mm-hmm. Like, how long has this been going on? How long was he getting away with it before it actually became he got popped? So
and I've never played in the big leagues. Will never play in the big leagues. I think that part in my life that dream has passed me by. But it. Oh.
That one's right up the middle. That's going to be a base hit, a run-scoring single for ninth inning, and we got a 2-1 ball game.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to get paid $20 million whether you hit $150 or you hit $350. You're going to get paid $20 million to play baseball. Like, I get wanting to be a good baseball player. I get it, but
it's guaranteed money.
Just roll out there for 2 years, and if you stink, you go home with $40 million.
Yeah, it's not the NFL where they cut you for lack of performance, and there's not the same level of guarantees. But that was Jackson Clifton, by the way, coming through with that RBI single. The Cambridge 2030's got a 2-1 ball game. As now Brady Brillhart steps in for ninth inning. Brady Woodstock 2030. But yeah, obviously a massive headache for this team, along with all the issues facing the Atlanta Braves and the pitching rotation. Spradley delivers, and that one is going to be a strike at 71.6.
I think a big thing for that Braves team this year is if the offense can get back to a resemblance of what it was in 23. Obviously, I don't know that we'll get all the way back there, but a resemblance of it, the team's going to have a chance to win the division, make a run in the playoffs. But
let's do that. Look, they're going to get Sean Murphy back at some point. I know having Ozuna in a Pirates uniform now is going to be you're going to miss some long balls. You're going to miss some run scoring opportunities with him at the plate. But I think once they can get, Murphy, by the way, having hip surgery for a catcher has got to be a whole bunch of chaos. Goes down on strike, so Brillhart with the second strikeout of the inning for Spradley, but it's a 2-1 ball game. We'll be back with more from LakePoint Sports.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for one? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Avery Hunt with you. 2-1 lead for USA Scout as we move along to the second inning of our action. Tyler Vanderwalt back on the mound for ninth inning, and he will be now facing Hudson Burgess for USA Scout. Hudson to be followed by Preston Powell and Riles Register. If anybody joined us for our spring break experience broadcast that we had earlier this week, which is a walk-off two-run home run for Mars Hill's Cody Willis, just the best part of that moment to me was he's like, yeah, I did it again back in last spring for my high school team to push us to the state semifinals. So this was cool and all, but I've hit walk-off home runs before. But anyway, had some great action from that one. But just getting the excitement for those guys. Some of them, playing for travel programs that don't come down here. Obviously, those kids from Alabama, but I had to put you on notice that Josh Willingham, the coach for Mars Hill, the same Josh that was a Silver Slugger winner for the Twins in 2012.
It's one of those things that it didn't correlate. The switch didn't flip until you said something. I was like, oh my God. And I've been talking to Josh for the last 2 or 3 years, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, he's got a son who's a sophomore pitcher, pitching the JV game ahead of the game that we did. Said he was sitting in the mid-70s, got a nice curveballs, but giving back to the school that he went to. And he said he just felt like he was in a position where it was time to give back, and so he's been coaching them for a while now, and gets to be part of his son's baseball journey. 2-1 count here for Burgess. Swing, miss, make that 2-2.
Both pitchers so far early on doing a really good job of pounding the strike zone. Obviously, you saw USA Scout kind of get more aggressive in the strike zone towards the latter half of that last inning, but half the battle at this age group is obviously just filling up the strike zone, letting your defense work behind you, and keeping everybody engaged.
Yeah, ninth inning, we're 11-0 winners over Roswell Pirates Black in the game before this. Tyler Robinson was on the mound for ninth inning, just one walk for him. Roswell walked 15 batters, so we know this age group certainly. It can be an issue where walks can pile up and become a problem, but ninth inning was not a problem in the first game, and it's not a problem in this one so far either. That one's going to be into the third baseman's glove. Throw is in time. So Burgess with the ground out. Bring away to Preston Powell.
It's another thing, too, defensively. It keeps everybody involved. Obviously, if you're sitting out there for 35 minutes while your guys up there can't find the strike zone, I mean, you just kind of, human nature. You kind of zone out a little bit, then all of a sudden the ball's hitting your general direction, and it's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where it's obviously a good thing on the mound, but it also keeps everybody engaged in the game defensively as well.
Preston Powell now up. Baylor, Tennessee, 2030, so making the trip down. Baylor is where Peyton Manning's son, is that correct?
I think that's also where the guy from Mississippi State, the left-handed arm, Valanciunas.
Okay.
He went there as well.
Yeah, we had them here. What was that? 3 years ago, where we had it was like a high school showdown.
3 or 4 years. It was Elijah Green. All those guys were here.
IMG was here. Yeah. Baylor came down. They had the Ford kid that went on to Virginia. Mm-hmm. So they got an opportunity to see that team then, but we got to bring that back. That was incredible. We had Brother Rice came down from Michigan for that one. Yeah, that was big time. Not that everything else here isn't big time, but
yeah, there were some names there. I think They were pretty sweet.
Makes 2-2.
We were talking earlier. You said you lost your national champion in your
Houston,
bracket.
Houston goes down. Lost Iowa State, a Final Four team, as well last night. So just not going my way and not going the batter way. Preston Powell there as Tyler Vanderwalt gets a strikeout.
Still got both my final teams. They're still in there. Granted, they're pretty chalk.
You go Duke.
Duke and Michigan.
Okay.
I've got Michigan winning it all. Shout out Matt Yarber, our VP, who went to Michigan. We'll give him a shout out.
That's the lone Michigan shout out I'll allow here is in correlation with Matt Yarber. This is Riles Register now at the plate. Houston County 2030 Rising Stars preseason All-State earlier this month, 11th prep baseball event for him. Another guy making the long trip up here. Hopefully he and the Lowndes players just rode together. How far is Houston County? It's not that far away. Houston County to Lowndes?
Probably not too far.
Yeah. You tell me anything like in this part, I've lived here 20 plus years. This part of Georgia, I got you on lock. But once we start getting down to the, Vidalia,
Southwest Georgia,
Southwest,
I've got nothing for you.
Yeah.
I can get you from here to Savannah, and that's about as.
Yeah, you know where Augusta's at too.
Yeah.
Going east.
Yeah, and I got to get you to Augusta.
2-2 to Register, holds off.
I know we were talking about Braves Vision earlier. If anyone wants to trade Masters badges for Braves Vision.
Like a barter system.
Yeah,
I like that, yeah. It's like
fine.
you got your fur pelts and you're trying to get some, trading in for some magic beans. One's going foul.
Well, I'll tell you, it'll be a practice round. Right? It
Yeah.
doesn't even have to be the par 3, the actual tournament.
What if it's like, do they have to be for this year? Or what if they gave them like expired ones?
Get down there, sir. This is from 2024.
Yeah. You gotta be precise with what you ask for. It's like Facebook Marketplace, It's all in the details.
And my wife's an avid Facebook Marketplacer, so I fully understand that world more than I want to. I just get a text, hey, I need you to go pick this up and put it in the garage, and I'll get it when I get home. Yes, ma'am.
Register 6 145-pounders got himself a 3-2 count. Register playing right field today. Vanderwalt with the payoff pitch, and he issues the 2-out walk there to Register and gives away the last batter in the order for USA scout Caden Norman. We were talking Rise Hoops Tip-Off Classic, and anybody wants to go see the absolute future in basketball, you best head on over to the Champion Center this weekend because it is in full effect over there. Atlanta Celtics and Nasir Anderson, the 9th-ranked player in the nation in the class of 2027, going to be in action. We'll have a 250 broadcast for you in that one. That team, and did Norman get hit? Yeah, he did. Caden Norman gets plunked. He's going to make his way down to first base. But coached by Josh Smith, the former all-rookie team, multiple-time all-defensive team in the NBA, number 17 pick by the Hawks in 2004. Guy that back when I was doing Hawk stuff at Fox was a fixture for the team. I hope he's wearing the headband.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I could recognize Josh Smith sans headband, but we'll see.
If we can let's get him in the layup line to start the game.
Yeah,
Let's get Josh out there. Let him, the big left-handed, fast break dunks. Let's get those out there one more time.
I'm sure he'd be mad at you just for making him get up like that again.
Yeah.
Mikael Wood at the plate now, 2 on. They got to get they should have where they take all the guys who have kids playing in college should all play against each other. So you get next year, one of the boozers will at least be in the NBA next year. We'll see if they both go. But you get Josh Smith and you get Boozer and you get all these guys together and let's just let them run it out. And hamstrings, I'm sure, will be severed in that one. Some knees creaking.
Hey, don't look now. I'm you know this. I'm sure nobody else does. I'm a big Hawks guy.
Yeah.
So don't look now. The Hawks are making a run at this thing in the East. So 14 out of the last 16. It's pretty good numbers.
Do you, as a Hawks fan, ever sit there and just think what it would have been like if they had not traded Luka for Trey?
Often.
Yeah.
Once, twice, maybe 3 times a week.
Yeah.
Now that Trey,
it's over.
we've moved on
we
from
know
Trey.
we know what it was. We can clearly define it and say it had a couple moments. It had a couple games in MSG where he made some people really upset. But what was the culmination of that deal?
Yeah. If the pick you got back for in that deal would have been a little bit better, I think it's a different.
Hard hit grounder, third base has it, throws Wood on the run. Did he get him? Did he come off the bag? And waiting for a call there. Wood's going to hold it first. So it looks like the first baseman came off the bag. USA Scouts going to have the bases loaded as it moves to Zach Lester. But I think, it's definitely, you're talking about a guy who may go down as an all-timer.
Yep.
And, you had a GM at the time who was like, I'm going to replicate what I had in Golden State, and this is going to be my version of Steph Curry. And you end up giving up the Euro Larry Bird in the process.
Yeah, for Trey. And Trey had a great run in Atlanta. I think the ankle injury in the 21 Eastern Conference Finals and then the shoulder injury the next year, I think he kind of just took a toll on him. And then obviously
he was asked to shoulder a lot on his own too. Which same thing would have happened to Luka, and we would have been talking about the lack of defense. But
yeah, if Cam Reddish in that deal turns out to be a borderline just above average NBA player, I think it's looked upon a little differently. But I'm not sure Cam Reddish is in the league anymore.
He's probably in someone's league, just not the NBA anymore.
Not the league.
Yeah. 3-0 count here to Zach Lester. Nowhere to put him. And, last thing Vanderwall wants to do is pad this USA Scout lead with a bases-loaded walk of the biggest strike zone he ever sees on this pitch. And that's strike one.
I mean, I also think that Luka wouldn't have had the same kind of ease in the league if it wasn't for Dirk.
Yeah, he obviously walked into a good situation with people who knew how to handle him. Strike number 2, Jack McCartney, by the way, joining us on the 1s and 2s in the back. But yeah, he walked into a perfect situation. Like, if he comes to Atlanta, I don't know who that mentor is.
Yeah, especially at that time with where we were as a franchise.
Maybe Zaza Pachulia comes back.
That
one's right and driven into left field on the run. Oh, met a great opportunity there for USA Scout, but cannot come through. Bases loaded. Another great catch in left field. We're through 1.5. Got a Zaza Pachulia reference, and maybe somebody will dial him up, and we'll get Zaza on here to give us his take. 2-1 is the lead for USA Scout when we come back.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back. Got S.C. Spradley back on the mound for USA Scout. He's got a 2-1 lead. And it's Jackson Ross, Asher Ditto, and Clark Schmidt coming up to the plate for ninth inning Blue Jays. We always look for action hero / spy / superhero names. Asher Ditto seems to me like that might fit the equation.
Yeah, that's a good one. We were going through the starting lineups earlier, and I was like, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
But that's also the name of a Pokemon. So I don't know how good of a...
Asher Ditto?
No, Ditto is just the name of a Pokemon.
Well, but it's like...
It's like
his catchphrase is literally like they say something, he says ditto.
But it's like just like little pink blob.
Yeah.
I don't know how good of a hero that pink blob would be.
Well, Asher Ditto is going to be up second in this inning. We got Jackson Ross, Cambridge 2030 at the plate right now. 16th event on our fields for Jackson. Bradley with the 1-0. That one's put in play. Chops it to the shortstop. Gets away from the first baseman, so Ross is going to be aboard. Could not glove that on the big swipe, and so Ross is on with Ditto stepping in. You know what he would like to do? Whatever he just did, ditto. I'm sure Asher's heard all those before, especially once he found out what that word meant.
Yeah.
You know, when you're 5, 6 years old and someone says it, you're just like, what? It's like Pete and repeat. And they sat in the log. Ditto from Fellowship Christian. Watches strike one, this lefty-lefty matchup. This may be the first lefty that Spradley's faced. Yeah, I believe this is the first lefty so far in this 9th inning lineup for Spradley. Misses there, counts now 1-1. So we've got Jackson Ross aboard at first, 2-1 lead for USA Scout here in the bottom of the second. During the last day of that spring break experience, we're sitting around in like shorts and T-shirts, and now we got everybody bundled up because this is Georgia.
I got here this morning, got out of the car, and I was like, whoa, it is much, much colder than I thought it was. So had to swing over, grab a hoodie.
Yeah, hit the Prep Baseball Clubhouse store here on campus.
Yeah, I had to swing in there and grab a hoodie from Crystal and her team.
Oh, ball gets away. Ross making his way to second. Now a runner in scoring position for 9th inning. So will you be working the next round of the break experience, or are you going to hand is that Vinny territory?
Just going to let Vinny do his thing with it. If he needs me, he'll call me, and I'll bounce up, but we'll see.
All right. I mentioned earlier in our broadcast the battle for Bartow that we've got April 9th and 10th. I'm just going to throw. We may not have, and I know obviously MPIs is its own animal. We'll have some really fun players when we get to future games. Those 2 days, we may not have a higher concentration of MLB draft talent that we're going to have with the teams that we're going to have in action there. McEachern with Chubb Jones Jr. Obviously the whole set of guys from Etowah. You got Stony Brook coming down with Aiden Ruiz, Vanderbilt commit, who's one of the top shortstops in the nation. I mean, Caleb Hughes coming from Carrollton. That is literally going to be like, I think I would be stunned if we don't have like a dozen MLB scouts here during those 2 games.
Yeah, that'll be a high-powered couple days here, obviously.
Shooter Hunt, unfortunately, not going to make it. He told me he's like, I don't want to mess with TSA. So
well, that's not a bad take these days.
Yeah, I thought for sure I'd be able to get Shooter and one of these broadcaster in that. He was so excited about it a month ago, and then he starts traveling and tells me it's chaos, and now he doesn't want to come to Atlanta. We got to get him like a Madden cruiser.
Just get him on a PJ.
The Hunt Hauler.
Yeah.
That's what we'll talk to Sean Duncan about this. The Hunt Hauler, they can put First Form and all the other logos on the side of it, and he can drive himself around the country, home and the wife and kids, and they can homeschool them and do all that stuff. And he just goes all over the nation checking out high school baseball. Then he comes here and camps for like a month and a half in the summertime, and then goes back out to Portland. He would love me for this. I should talk to him, man. We're going to make this happen. I'm sure he'd love it.
It'll be a fun ride from here to Portland, I think.
Gets the punch out. Let's see Spradley finding his groove here now, 2 down. I actually have a neighbor who's doing that on Monday. He's moving from Ackworth to Portland, so he's making that drive out. He says he's giving himself 5 days to get out there. Yeah. I can't imagine.
Hand up. If I'm ever in Portland, Oregon for anything, I will be getting there by plane. I will not be driving.
Voodoo Donuts, man. That's why you go to Portland. Well, they got one in Orlando now, but I'm a donut connoisseur. Spradley hitting the mark now. He's got Tyler Vanderwalt after that K of Clark Schmidt. Runner in scoring position for ninth inning Royals. Can they capitalize, or does S.C. Spradley slam the door and preserve this 2-1 lead for USA Scout? It's got an 0-1 count here now to the opposing pitcher, Vanderwalt. Runner takes off for third. Catcher will smartly hold on to that one.
It's a good jump there. I'm not sure even if he gets the transfer clean behind the plate that he's got a chance. So smart decision just to hold on to that one.
Comes the 0-2 to Vanderwalt. It's in play. Shortstop has it. Can he make the throw in time? This time it is gloved, and it brings an end to the inning. USA Scout is up 2-1 as we move along to the third inning. Avery, I know you got to go. Appreciate it, man. We'll see you soon, and we'll be back here in studio with more from the Prep Baseball Invitational.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
Backed by over 100 years of engine design and manufacturing and a highly skilled dealer network. Yanmar. Yanmar Tractors. Quality. Hardworking. Reliability. Leave no job unfinished. Yanmar. Visit us at www.yanmartractor.com or see your local dealer for details.
We are back. Cory McCartney. Now, we're going to go off camera now, as I sit here alone in studio. It's going to be one of those somber moments here as I take in this other state of loneliness here in our studio. But Jack McCartney is back in the production room with me as Avery Hunt exits, and we'll have Tyler Vanderwalt back on the mound for ninth inning. And he's got opposing pitcher S.C. Spradley. So Vanderwalt grounds out against Spradley, and now we flip it around, and we'll have Vanderwalt on the mound against Spradley at the plate. So, Jack, we showed in the pregame, you get a chance to catch up with Zach Church from Highlands Marengo out of Ohio. Those guys down here, they're going to be playing Alatoona today, and then they're going to go to the Atlanta Braves game after that. I guess they went yesterday and watched Alatoona play a doubleheader. Should be a fun matchup. I thought that Highlands team certainly seemed like they were excited to be here, and their coach told me just kind of a different level of baseball coming down here to Metro Atlanta and having to play against guys that can pretty much play the game year-round. So I think a bit of an eye-opener for them, but those guys are certainly excited to play. And Zach Church, by the way, told me he's going to be pitching today against Alatoona.
Yeah, I mean, from watching both teams, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good matchup. But, I mean, you talk to anyone outside of Florida, Georgia, California, like all those Texas, the high school just sports in general are so much more. I mean,
well, they call them hotbeds, right? We call them. Think about those baseball hotbeds as Vanderwalt gets Spradley for the strikeout, and that gives way to Gavin Chastain. But I mean, people talk about that a lot. It's those every year you look at the highest rated guys in the class, the guys that are the ones that are those MLB draft picks out of the high school ranks. They're coming from Georgia, they're coming from Florida, they're coming from Texas, they're coming from California. That one is driven 74.3 off the bat. That's going to drop in to left center. A base hit for Gavin Chastain, who now has his second hit of the day, and that'll bring up Geno McKinley, who last time up dropped in a 2-run single to give USA Scout this lead. McKinley got some more magic in his sleeve here. Early favorite here for player of the game, which you can always catch those interviews later on after our broadcast across all of our social media channels. McKinley, first pitch, golfs that one foul. What are the odds if I were to ask Geno McKinley who his favorite player was, if he said it was Matt Olson? You see a little Matt Olson?
I see a little bit of it, yeah.
That miss makes it 1-1.
Kind of like a Soto shuffle kind of thing right there.
Well, all these guys, I ask them who impacted them most. They all say Bryce Harper. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be some guys that are different.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I said in our last broadcast, McKinley sent another one foul. I think the next generation is going to tell you it's going to be Max Clark. I think Max Clark is added. If Harper was the guy that was said you're allowed to play with emotion, I think Max Clark's going to be the guy that tells you you're allowed to play with some swagger. He's just got to get up and produce at the MLB level, and then you're going to see a whole bunch of acolytes running around looking Max Clark-esque.
Well, another thing is with, social media becoming such a huge thing and a lot of younger guys' lives,
centering around it.
You would watch.
Yeah.
The only way to really watch guys is turning on the TV. But now there are people who are going to high school games and making videos.
Yeah.
Or doing what we do with the live broadcasts and interviews and all that kind of stuff. So it definitely helps a lot more with trying to help guys figure out which players are best for them to try to get their game off of.
McKinley draws the walk. There'll be runners at first and second. And I think a lot of it too is you watch and you do, right? So it's having that guy that you see out there going hey, you can play with all these chains on. You can do this. You can, have some emotion. You can have the eye black going. You can be like that, and not just because you've got a $300 million contract. You can be like that because that's how you want to be. Now, and look, I'm not saying Max Clark can absolutely play. I mean, we had him here. It was just so interesting to think about those summers we had where we had Walker Jenkins, who now with the Minnesota Twins, and Max Clark, who now with the Detroit Tigers, both in their minor league systems, picked with them 2 or 3 picks of one another in that MLB draft. We had those two here at the exact same time. And Jenkins kind of more of that throwback guy. I did a swing breakdown with Walker Jenkins that summer, his last summer when we had him here. And I still marvel just how cerebral this kid was about hitting. Just understanding it at a very, mature level. And certainly you kind of had the different version of, just kind of playing with your hair on fire. And Max Clark and both of them ended up in the same draft. But we've had them all here, and certainly if you're a younger player, you can look on our fields and get a lot of inspiration on how to play the game. And I don't think you're right. You don't have to just wait and see it at the MLB level or see it watching the SEC network or the ACC network to see these high level guys. You can see it across social media. I mean, when I've had that conversation with Trevor Condon when he was in here. Now, Alabama commit about wearing a hood, and just, second baseman right now has got a hood on. And that was something that he said it was his cape, and he's always been like that. And you see so many guys in the metro Atlanta area that are doing that. You telling me that they were doing that before Trevor Condon was featured on social media all the time wearing a hood? I think, not to say he's the sole reason, but I think it's certainly, when you see someone who performs at a high level doing something, there certainly becomes this replication process where you see others latching onto it, and he certainly made his impact. That one is driven into center field. Runners will both retreat, so still runners at first and second for USA Scout. Now we'll see Caden. That was Carter Hunter that just popped out. So now it'll be Hudson Burgess. One down for Burgess. Runners at first and second, one down. .60 pitches for Vanderwalt. That's strike one. Two down here in the inning. USA Scout looking for some insurance. Vanderwalt's got 5 hits allowed, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. Swings through that one. 69.46. We rounded up to 64.8 on our scoreboard. Count is 0-2. Runners at first and second. Vanderwalt fires. Both runners taking off the throw to third. Going to get away from the third baseman. Just glances enough of it, though, to stop him from going any further if he doesn't at least make that effort. Clearly that ball's into left field, and we've got a third run on the board for USA Scout, but damage limited. Instead, they'll just have runners at second and third for Burgess. Vanderwalt jersey flapping in the wind, throws on the 1-2, and he just plunks Burgess square in the middle of his back. Now the bases will be loaded. So if those the runners had just waited one pitch later, they'd be at second and third anyway. Now it'll be Preston Powell here. Bases loaded. Get a courtesy runner for Burgess, the catcher. Can Preston Powell cash in and extend this lead for USA Scout? The Baylor-Tennessee 20-30. Watch this first pitch ball from Vanderwalt. Another miss, make that 2-0. Jack, we were talking about the spring break experience. Again, we'll be back on Thursday, with another broadcast. Marysville, Ohio against Lincoln Way West. Should be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, that Lincoln Way West team had, we saw them last year, and they looked good. But, everything else from that spring break experience last year kind of got, shoved away from Jack Bauer throwing over 102 miles an hour. So it'll be nice to see their Notre Dame commit this year. Hopefully get to see
Michael Pettit. I'm really hoping that Michael Pettit, who's the third-ranked left-handed pitcher in Illinois in 26, I'm hoping the former feature gamer makes an appearance. That one is into left field. On the run, makes the catch. USA Scout strands the bases loaded, but they still lead 2-1. We'll be back. Plenty more to come from the Prep Baseball Invitational.
The Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
We are back, and so is S.C. Spradley, who returns on the mound for USA Scout. They're up 2-1 over ninth inning Blue Jays in this, our game of the day from the Prep Baseball Invitational. Tyler Robinson, last batter in the order, steps in for ninth inning. This is still on the first time through the order for ninth inning, who has 2 hits thus far. They're hitting 10 in this one, just like USA Scout. And that was first pitch ball out of the hands of Spradley. Still just 34 pitches. By the way, we talked about 60 plus from his counterpart, Vanderwalt, and that was number 35. So an efficient run here for Spradley, and this is first action here at LakePoint. First 2 innings, he allowed 2 hits, 1 run. It was earned, a walk, 4 strikeouts. One goes back foul, counts now 1-2. Biggest strike in this game so far came off the bat of Geno McKinley. 2-run single delivered in the first inning for USA Scout. All of our scoring did come in that first inning. USA Scout starting it off, 2 runs, and then ninth inning cutting that lead in half at the bottom of the first. And the secondary stuff from Spradley, he's feeling it now. I think maybe that first inning was kind of trying to figure out the mound here, trying to figure out the approach here for these ninth inning batters. But Spradley finding his groove here, and that's strikeout number 5 for S.C. Spradley. And we are now to the top of the order as it flips for ninth inning to Jake Johnson. And it just as I announcer jinx Spradley, he misses with the curveball, arm side. You could say it's a miss, or you could say maybe he just wants Jake Johnson to think maybe he's just a little bit crazy. Goes down the middle, and that one is flip foul, counts even. Jack, we've been around USA Scout for a while now. Your brother obviously playing for them a couple years ago. Thoughts on USA Scout's new uniforms? A little Minnesota Twins-esque, I think, if I had to. They've looked like Ole Miss in the past. They've looked like Vanderbilt in the past. I'm getting some Nationals/Twins vibes from the setup. Maybe a little more Nationals, especially with the hats there for USA Scout and their 26 look.
I mean, they're definitely different.
The Scout is a little smaller. I'm
Yeah.
used to it being a little bit more bold, a little bigger in the past, but I think the hats, at least with the white on the front of it, and the script, to me, reminiscent of the Washington Nationals.
They look good. It's just,
it's an adjustment.
In my brain, I'm so used to them having the older ones.
Yeah, it's an adjustment.
It's also 643 changed their uniforms too.
Yep.
And it's taking me a second to really adjust to those too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that always happens early in the seasons, right? Like when we start getting those teams that become fixtures across the year, once we start having like the 5-star Mafia guys and all the East Cobb and all them coming in here, what do they look like this year? Swing, miss. That's going to be a drop third as it skips away. Is a runner going to reach? So it's another strikeout for Spradley, but the ball skipping away from his catcher. So it's strikeout number 6, but we do have a runner aboard here with 1 out as Charlie Briller steps in. So a defensive miscue for USA Scout. Can ninth inning build on that with 1 down? Again, strikeout number 6 for Spradley, but runner does reach. This is a drop third as it's skipping away from the catcher, going all the way back to the backstop. Charlie Briller, the Sequoia 2030, swings through strike number 1, evens the count. Velo holding pretty strong here for Spradley in inning number 3. Lefty goes secondary, misses, be now 2-1. The 5'11 Lowndes 2030, getting 6 strikeouts so far. That is popped up, unplayable. You know, they're the 9th inning Blue Jays, but they'll never play a 9th inning at LakePoint Sports. Deep thoughts on our broadcast. Counts now 2-2 here to Briller. That's in play. Shortstop has it. Throws the second for 1 out. Can they get the double play? It will not happen as ball skips away from the first baseman. So have a runner again back at first, but they trade an out for another runner. So now 2 down. Can Ezekiel Smithers extend this inning? Pickens County 2030 gets a sign, steps in. Another reminder, we'll be doing a broadcast from the Rise Hoops Tip-Off Classic today at 2:50. Stars Basketball Club out of Tennessee against the Atlanta Celtics. Throw to second. Gets away from the second baseman cutting over as it goes into center field. So Briller does make it to second, so they do have the runner in scoring position. Can Smithers take advantage? The 1-0 to Zeke Smithers. Misses arm side, now 2-0. Next pitch will be number 52. That's into left field, drops down. Runner's going to hold at third. Rounds the bag. Cut off by the catcher. So they'll have him at the corners. Nice job from Ezekiel Smithers, 81.6 off his bat in the left field. Does advance the runner, but Charlie Briller holds at third. Now here comes Jackson Clifton, 1 for 1. Clifton has the lone RBI thus far for 9th inning, coming in the bottom of the 1st inning. So the Cambridge 2030 can deliver again and even this thing up. Strike 1. And again, going back to that drop third, while that runner did not make it all the way around, it still created an opportunity where got a chance here for Jackson Clifton to come through. Throw to the first, runner takes off, and he is safe. Some smart base running there as Charlie Briller sneaks in on the throw over to first. Honestly, surprised they made that throw with a runner at third, but S.C. Spradley throws over to first, and some serious heads-up base running there, Jack, from Charlie Briller to even this up.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure why they would do that throw either.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he just wasn't. He was thinking maybe that there's no way he's going to go, but sure that'll turn into a teachable moment there, which so many of these early seasons games do become teachable moments. Jackson Clifton, that hits off the mound. It's into center field. Now have runners at first and second. Second hit of the day for Jackson Clifton. He just got RBI number 2 taken away from him on that throw over to first, because delivering the first run in the 1st inning, he would have had the second run on that hard hit ball up center field, but Charlie Briller stealing the bag, stealing home, and stealing the lead away from USA Scout as we're all tied up. I see some guys with some phones in their hands back there. I really hope I'm fingers crossed for watching our broadcast. Maybe we get them to wave. Then we'll know they're watching. No, one guy's holding it up like he's going to take some video. Got the fellow, though, in the hat with the white in the front of him. Maybe he's watching. See if you can get him to wave. Probably doesn't have the sound up. Spradley with the 1-0. Brady Brillhart. Brillhart's 0 for 1, the Woodstock 2030. He's got a 2-0 count here. We're all tied up. Bottom of the third. Yeah, you know that throw over to first is the moment that Spradley's going to want back. We'll see if his offense can pick him up, though, as we move to the fourth. We'll just see if they go there with this tied up at 2-2 or whether or not ninth inning can continue building on this momentum. Certainly had a couple oddities break ninth inning's way in this one. Runner reaching off of a drop third and then scoring off of a throw over to first. That's in first strike, makes it 2-1. So he put his phone away. So either he's offended that I called him out and trying to get him to wave, or he just wasn't watching our broadcast. Comes a 2-1. Now Spradley will step off.
Well, we talked about the MLB earlier.
Yeah.
I want someone, I don't know who, but we need someone to figure out if playing in the World Baseball Classic ended up helping or hurting the guys that ended up playing in it. Like,
just in general, pitchers, hitters.
In general, did participating in the World Baseball Classic?
Well, I think Ozzie Albies, you can show that he hit the first ever walk-off home run in WBC history, and then after a down year, flips around and hits a home run for the Braves' first run of 2026.
But you got guys like Aaron Judge who went 0 for 5 with 4 Ks.
Yeah.
Cal Raleigh went 0 for 7 with 7 Ks. Acuna didn't have that great of a start. Pasquantino didn't have that.
All right. Well,
start.
I'll take my Ozzie moment, and you can have the rest of them. I'll take the miraculous, and you can have the minutia.
I mean, even Skeens with that, I mean,
Yeah.
It wasn't all of his fault. It was O'Neal Cruz in the outfield, but I think it might just be the fact that they were in such high pressure situations too early.
I can see that. Bases now loaded for Jackson Ross, who's 1 for 1. Strike 1 from SC Spradley.
Or you know what? I'll re-say the statement. Did playing in the tournament, like the actual, like not pool play, but the actual tournament, because Aussie, the Netherlands didn't make it into the playoffs. They got eliminated in pool play. So did playing in the actual, bracket hurt more than actually playing just because Aussie then ended up coming back and playing in spring training.
Well, I would argue that anybody seeing high pressure pitches, high pressure situations ahead of everybody else is to their benefit, whether they're a batter or a pitcher. I think it gets a guy in a mode earlier than it does by you going through the rigmarole of the end of spring training. Spradley with he's going to step off. I think that's much more to it. And I can see the stress pitches argument there for the pitchers, but from a hitter standpoint, you get a guy into a high leverage situation earlier and getting them back in the blood pumping in those situations earlier than the guys who don't get that opportunity. I can't not see that not being to benefit for those batters.
We just, we haven't really seen anyone that participated in it perform well.
Ozzie Albies just hit a home run last night. And he hit a walk-off for the Netherlands in the World Baseball
I'm
Classic.
saying,
The
like,
first ever walk-off.
I'm talking about the tournament.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm
talking
taking
about bracket.
But I think it has to be regardless, just participation.
But
can't put variables on it.
Aaron
1,
Judge
2,
went
swings
0
through
for
that.
5 with 4 Ks.
Spradley gets a strikeout, and that is going to be strikeout number 7 for SC Spradley. And 9th inning strands the bases. Both teams have stranded the bases loaded so far. We've got a tie ball game, 2-2, and we are headed to the bottom of the 4th inning when we come back here from LakePoint Sports.
Backed by over 100 years of engine design and manufacturing and a highly skilled dealer network. Yanmar. Yanmar Tractors. Quality. Hardworking. Reliability. Leave no job unfinished. Yanmar. Visit us at www.yanmartractor.com.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast. All while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back. Cory McCartney, Jack McCartney with you as we are rolling along here in our game of the day from the Prep Baseball Invitational. We are all tied up 2-2 between USA Scout and 9th inning Blue Jays. It'll be Riles Register, Caden Norman, and Mikhail Wood coming to the plate for USA Scout in this inning. It's a pitching change for 9th inning. Now see Clark Schmidt taking over for Tyler Vanderwalt. Schmidt, Sequoia 20-30. Got a fastball around 73, curveball 58 to 63. See where that ticks up at all as this inning moves along. But it's the 3rd prep baseball event for Clark. Comes a throwdown and be underway here now with Houston County 20-30 Riles Register leading things off. USA Scout leaving 9th inning with the bases loaded. I've seen both teams leave the bases juiced to end an inning. Register, I believe, was issued a walk in his first AB. He, in fact, was the lone walk issued by 9th inning pitching in this game. A miss from Schmidt, loses his lid. First time on the 26 broadcast schedule, Jack, that we've seen a pitcher lose his hat on a pitch. We need like the tally marker on the wall.
I think during the summer, I think the tally marker would fill out every wall in the entire facility.
Yeah, probably a good chance of that. It's going to make it 2-1. That's strike number 2, 72.6. Here's Schmidt on the 2-2. Misses high and loses his lid for the second time. We now got a full count. Comes our payoff pitch to Ryder Register. Register sends that foul. 5 hits for USA scout. Riles Register may have number 6, drops that down in the left field corner. He's going to hold it first. No, he's taking off for second. Register will retreat. Riles Register's got himself a leadoff single. USA Scout has their 6th hit of this game and the leadoff hitter aboard here in the 4th. I'll bring up big Caden Norman. Caden Norman, 5'2", 175 pounds. But this guy can put an absolute charge into a baseball if given the opportunity. He got hit by a pitch in his first AB, and he watches ball 1 there from Schmidt. Glances back at the runner. Yep, Norman puts a charge in that 89.2. That is driven into center field, but it will be caught. Loud out. Runner does tag up from second. So Register makes his way to third. Gets away from the third baseman. Now he stopped that one. Flips it back to the pitcher. So Schmidt will make his way back to the mound. And with 1 out, there's a runner 90 feet away from the third run of this ball game for USA Scout. And we're back to the top of the order with Mikhail Wood. Ball 1 to Wood. Hillgrove 2030. Got that leadoff hitter swagger. High inside miss makes it 2-0. Runner at third right now. Driven to the shortstop on the ground. Wood taking off for home, but productive out. And USA Scouts got a 3-2 lead off the bat on that ground out from Mikhail Wood. Big moment there with Riles Register tagging up on the hit into center field from Norman. And USA Scout able to take advantage. Zach Lester getting the scouting report on Wood. Lester 0 for 2. North Cobb Christian 2030 watches strike 1 out of the hands of Schmidt. Ooh, Mrs. High gets away from him. No traffic on the base pass, though. Jack, we mentioned a few times what we've got going on over at the Champion Center this weekend with the Rise Hoops Tip-Off Classic. Another miss there. And I know the venerable Dean Keener was telling you there might be some guys who in this event that'll play college basketball. I think that was putting it lightly.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you're talking about the guy for the...
Nasir Anderson.
Yeah, and then there was also... there's so many guys who are, also really high ranked. I mean, from what I've seen so far, I've tried to do as much research as I can. I've seen there's many guys who play for Overtime Elite. One guy who plays at Grayson, but in football. We were talking about it last night. This dude has like 20 just D1 offers in football, but just decides to also play basketball at a high level.
Zach Lester, 88.7 mile an hour single into left field. But yeah, they're going to be some exciting names in this one. Get a little bit of feedback on your end on the mic right now. So 2-out single from Zach Lester brings up SC Spradley, who's 1 for 2. Spradley has 7 strikeouts on the mound. And he skies that one. Who's got it? Shortstop, second baseman, try to converge. That's nobody's ball as that one drops into no man's land. So Spradley's aboard, second hit of the day for him to go with his 7 strikeouts. And now runners at first and second for USA Scout. And Gavin Chastain stepping in. So a 2 for 3 day so far for Spradley. Nice debut here at LakePoint for that Lowndes 2030. Strike number 1. Let's see, Jack, where we're getting at time-wise. We've got about 25 minutes of game time remaining. Forecasting we get through 1 more inning. I think we get through 5. Ooh, nice secondary there. Change up from Schmidt. Swing straight through that. Gavin Chastain's 2 for 2. Make that 2 for 3 as we get an inning-ending strikeout from Schmidt. USA Scouts got that 3-2 lead, though, making the most of a single from Register. They're up 3-2 when we come back from the Prep Baseball Invitational.
Backed by over 100 years of engine design and manufacturing and a highly skilled dealer network. Yanmar. Yanmar Tractors. Quality. Hardworking. Reliability. Leave no job unfinished. Yanmar. Visit us at www.yanmartractor.com or see your local dealer for details.
Windscreen Factory, more than just windscreen. We're a full-service sports facility contractor. We manufacture windscreen for sports and construction, do fence repair and installation, and fabricate field netting and batting cages. In addition to manufacturing the products, we also install upon request. We make safety padding for backstops, rails, and walls, as well as full-service print shop with logo, branding, and signage capabilities. Please call us for a quote today.
Welcome back. Riles Register scored the 3rd run of this game for USA Scout, and he now takes over on the mound here in the bottom of the 4th inning, replacing SC Spradley. Spradley went 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. Might be the first time I ever have seen a pitcher here at LakePoint wearing a knee brace. But Riles Register, 76 miles an hour for his first pitch of this inning. He's got Asher Ditto, followed by Clark Schmidt and Tyler Vanderwalt. Counts now 1-1. Ditto slams that back into the wall. Counts now 1-2. Of course, stick around after the completion of our game. We'll have our Aspen Hospitality Group moment that matters, as well as our player of the game dissection, and you can find that interview with the player of the game on our social media channels later on today. And then again, we'll have a 250 basketball broadcast later today for you. It's going to be a matchup between Stars Basketball Club and the Atlanta Celtics. Joined by Mike Siprin for that. Swing miss, strikeout for Register. 75.8 mile an hour fastball swung through by Ditto. The 8th strikeout for USA Scout pitching in this game. So Schmidt, who took over on the mound for 9th inning in the previous inning, was tagged by Register at the plate for a hit. Looking to return the favor here. Two hits apiece thus far for S.C. Spradley and Gavin Chastain, leading the way for USA Scout. Jackson Clifton has 2 hits of his own, along with a RBI for 9th inning. A half-hearted swing there. 72.6 mile an hour out of the hands of Register is strike 1, so it counts now 2-1. Goes right back to it, makes it 2-2. Register gets the most of this opportunity. Strikeout number 2 and wins another individual battle with Schmidt. Now Tyler Vanderwalt just piping strikes right down the middle. Riles Register said, "Here it is, boys. Have at it." No one up to the task thus far. Softly hit. Let's go in foul. Register just going heavy fastball here early on. I guess until somebody shows they can catch up with it, he'll just keep challenging them. Does it again, strike number 2. The first 2 batters have gone down on strikes, and now he has an 0-2 count here to Tyler Vanderwalt. There he goes with a secondary, and it's his 3rd strikeout of the inning. What a debut there from Riles Register in this game on the mound. He gets 3 Ks and holds up this USA Scout lead when we come back from LakePoint Sports.
Backed by over 100 years of engine design and manufacturing and a highly skilled dealer network. Yanmar. Yanmar Tractors. Quality. Hardworking. Reliability. Leave no job unfinished. Yanmar. Visit us at www.yanmartractor.com or see your local dealer for details.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
This is our brand. It's chips. Subs, of course. Soda. This. That. Sweets. Smiling faces. Green. More green. Ice cream. But first, veggies. How about a meal for one? Or hummus is fun. Time for cleanup? Done. All this goodness. Your life, your brand. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Our action continues. We'll have Gino McKinley, Carter Hunter, and Hudson Burgess at the plate for USA Scout. Here in the fifth, McKinley, he of the 2-run single in the first inning, now has an 0-1 count here. McKinley is 1 for 1. He's also walked. And he's got a 1-1 count now in this matchup with Schmidt. If you're a clock watcher, we've got about 16 minutes remaining on the clock in this one. One skips all the way back on the big bounce. Makes it 2-1. So in all likelihood, this stands as our last inning, but ninth inning will get an opportunity here in the bottom of the fifth to try to have a say in how this finishes up. We'll just see if USA Scout can build any insurance runs before we get to that point. Strike inside, makes it 2-2. Eugene Donald McKinley goes by Gino and has got a 2-2 count. Oh, that hit is off of his bat. So hits off the top of his bat as he tries to get out of the way of the pitch. But regardless, this AB continues. Count 2-2. Schmidt misses inside. Count's now full. Of course, that doesn't hit the top of his bat, and he's standing at first base right now. And now he'll get there anyway. So a leadoff walk here issued to Gino McKinley. Brings up Carter Hunter. Should this score hold, we'll certainly have some interesting candidates for player of the game for USA Scout, but ninth inning trying to change that. Hunter at the plate skies that. Second base has it. So McKinley smartly plants his feet at first. Catcher Hudson Burgess now up. Burgess 0 for 1 was hit by a pitch. Swings through strike 1. And we just called him for a walk, so make that count remains 0-0. Coach asking for some clarification there as Schmidt's called for the balk. And not feeling that argument, or maybe just asking for some clarification and knowing what to tell his pitcher. So we'll now go out and have a conversation with Clark Schmidt, explaining to him how he was called for a balk. Regardless, we've got a runner now at second. So clarification given by both umpires. And off the balk, we'll now have a runner at second. It should be an 0-0 count here. Yep, signals to Clark Schmidt that the count is 0-0. Gets away from the catcher. McKinley going to take off for third. So now off of a balk and a wild pitch, we've now got a runner at third for USA Scout, all before the next batter, Hudson Burgess, has even swung the bat here in this trip to the plate. Opportunity knocking now for the catcher. Miss low makes it 2-0. Jack, tough way for ninth inning to start this inning because they're just trying to give themselves an opportunity here to try to walk this thing off. Last thing they want to do is get a loss. Number 2 on that let's not do that list is walk out of here with a pool play tie. That one goes foul. And obviously the last thing they want is to give USA Scout an extended lead and make things that much more difficult for them onto the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, I mean, when you're the home team, you have to try to minimize what you
damage
give in the top of the innings. So you really have to try to figure out, there isn't much time left. They're not going to play the full 7 innings. You really have to try to stop the damage here to try to, try to find a way to walk it off or, potentially tie here in the bottom of the 5th.
Well, it counts now 3-1 to Burgess, and what's been a long time at the plate for him. Schmidt loses his hat again, and Burgess will head down to first, and we'll have runners at the corners now with 1 out. Get a courtesy runner for the catcher, Burgess, so he's putting the gear back on, coming out for another inning. And Preston Powell, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Try to end his day on a positive note. Chance to cash in and extend that USA Scout lead with 1 out here in the 5th. Riles register in the on-deck circle. Nice juggling out there from the catcher. Just loses the handle on it there at the end. And we could be inching towards a pitching change for 9th inning. We just saw third baseman trot off. So just covering their bases should things get out of hand here for Clark Schmidt in the top of the 5th. Runner takes off for second. Smartly holds on to that one with a runner standing at third. So now 2 in scoring position now for Powell. Miss inside. Powell ready for the 2-1. And he swings through the secondary from Schmidt. He picks up his lid. We've had more times losing the hat in this pitching appearance from Schmidt than we've had in any game that we've broadcasted the entirety of 2026 so far. Powell rips that into left field. Here comes a run for USA Scout. Trailing runner right behind him is going to extend the lead. Now makes it 4-2. And yep, Preston Powell comes through big time. 82.2 off his bat into left field. And he's got himself a 2-run single and extends this lead for USA Scout now to 5-2 here in the 5th.
Yeah, they did a great job right there of generating the runs and making it really difficult on this 9th inning team to try to come back here in the bottom of the 5th.
Pressure's on, right? Riles Register, who's taken over on the mound, now steps in.
Well, it's not in the weather right now, but the heat is on.
That's right. Register's 1 for 1. Has scored a run. Has a walk as well. Also has himself 3 strikeouts and 3 batters faced in the bottom of the 4th inning. Assume Register coming out for inning number 5. So is that one foul? But now Preston Powell entering his name into the player of the game conversation should USA Scout emerge with the win. Giving us some good options so far. Geno McKinley, S.C. Spradley, Powell. Register defensive swing has to go up after that one. Shortstop has it. Runner will retreat to first, and now 2 down. That's Cade Norman. Norman drove a ball into center field in his last trip to the plate, nearly 90 miles an hour. He's a switch hitter going from the left side in this AB now. Drove one into center field, allowed Riles Register to tag up from second. He ends up coming in for the 3rd run of this ball game. Norman puts the first one in play down the right side. This is high. I got some Daniel Vogelbach vibes coming from him, especially with the Pirates colors. Thinking when Vogelbach played for Pittsburgh. Well, Norman already got himself a hard hit ball on this one. See if he can deliver another one. He's got a 1-2 count. Norman, a Georgia 20-30. The 1-2 goes down on strikes. Will bring an end to this inning. 9th inning, though, going to have a say on how this turns out as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning. They trail by 3 runs. We'll be back with the likely conclusion of this from the Prep Baseball Invitational when we return.
First one I picked up, I just liked it the best. And like I said, I tried a lot of different companies, a lot of different models, and I fell in love with Old Hickory for sure.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
4 minutes remain on the clock for 9th inning. Riles Register returns on the mound for USA Scout after 3 strikeouts against 3 batters faced in the 4th, and he's got Tyler Robinson, last batter in the order for 9th inning Blue Jays. He'll be followed by Jake Johnson and Charlie Briller. 9th inning looking to get something going here. Robinson sends the 0-1 into center field, and that's going to be caught for out number 1. First out that didn't come via strikeout for Register since taking over for S.C. Spradley. Now he'll face leadoff hitter Jake Johnson, who's 0 for 2. USA Scout, 5 runs on 9 hits. 9th inning, 2 runs on 4 hits. A strike from Register. Outside of that one breaking ball, not a lot of deceptiveness from Register here. Putting the deceptiveness in his bag and just going straight heaters, saying good luck. Johnson shoots that into left field, and that's going to be caught for the out. We do have a ball on the field from another game. Your eyes are not deceiving you as we see a ball skip in front of Register, the pitcher. But regardless, we did have the out caught by the left fielder. So now, technically, there's 2 minutes left. So if Briller doesn't extend this AB, we may have had this go quick enough where we've got to play a 6th inning, so we'll see how this sorts itself out. They may be yelling at Register to take his time in between pitches with all of 2 minutes remaining on the clock. Strike number 1. Wouldn't I, having coached myself, this is probably a moment where you think maybe you go out and have a word with your pitcher. Just let them know you're thinking about them. Call it sportsmanship, but certainly with another game still to play for USA Scout, getting guys off the field and giving them a break is all for the best. Now 1 minute remaining. And he hits the batter, so Briller makes his way down to first, and that probably seals the deal here that will end up ending this momentarily. You see the home plate umpire taking a look at his clock. So with 1 aboard, Ezekiel Smithers steps in. So conversation there. Hey, did you look and see how much time's left? I sure did. Try to get out here with a win. See if they can do so. But again, 9th inning got something to say as Ezekiel Smithers comes aboard with runner at first. So they can get this train moving along here and try to eat into this USA Scout lead. Of course, every run matters, even in losses, when you start thinking about run differential and trying to advance to bracket play. In this event, the top 9 teams advance to Sunday's play. Championship game will be played Sunday at 6. 91.2 off the bat of Smithers, and that's on its way into the left field gap. And yep, USA Scout going to have their hands full here in this inning as Smithers is aboard via the 2-out double. Hardest hit ball that we've had in this game, 91.2, and 9th inning not going away. And man, that was just a rocket off the bat of Ezekiel Smithers.
Yeah, he perfectly gapped that right between the left and center fielder, went right to the wall, and, a perfect hit.
Well, the Pickens County 2030 coming through. I'll bring up Jackson Clifton. Jackson Clifton 2 for 2. He's already got 1 RBI delivering that in the bottom of the first inning. See if he can put another one on the ledger and eat into this USA Scout lead. See a little bit more of the secondary there from Register. The 1-0 hard hit. Nope. 75.9 started off by the second baseman, but it's going into the outfield. Get 2 runs are going to come across for USA Scout. This has got me tongue-tied because things are getting dicey here. It's now a 5-4 game as Jackson Clifton comes through with his 3rd hit of the game. Just couldn't glove it. Oh my! I'm losing everything in this moment because this has just been chaos. Could not clean it, field it cleanly at second base as it goes into center field. And 9th inning able to take advantage. This is a 1-run ball game now, as we've now got Brady Brillhart at the plate. First pitch in for a strike. I'm often not left for a loss of words, but this had me tongue-tied in this moment because 9th inning just not going away. They've pieced something together here in the bottom of the 5th inning to cut the lead to 1. And another hard hit ball, 76.3 on its way into left field. That is going to be caught, and that is going to end it. Nice job in left field there for USA Scout. Zach Lester coming through with a catch, and that's going to end it. But 9th inning putting up a fight in this one. 5-4 win for USA Scout. And, man, hats off to Ezekiel Smithers' hard hit ball. Hats off to Jackson Clifton coming through with 2 runs off that hit, his 3rd of the day. So 9th inning was not going away quietly, but USA Scout does get out of here. 5-4 win in this pool play matchup. We come back, we'll talk player of the game and more from the Prep Baseball Invitational.
What's up, guys? Jim Nagrowski here with LakePoint Sports, and today we're trying out the new Clout AI.
Oh,
first swing too, that's the best swing of the day by far. It's somewhat light and it's balanced. Light but medium. Like it feels medium in the hands, but it swings super light. I actually really like this. Ooh, that was good. That was pieced. Even off the end too. It still seems nice because I caught that off the end. Oh. Man, I'm actually a fan of this. Oh. Barrel actually feels nice. Oh, that's a bomb. Oh, that's the best swing of the day. Dude, that felt money off the barrel too. That's a bomb. Dude, that's touched. What's up, guys? Just finished out here with the Cloud AI. First thoughts here is it's a super balanced bat. I mean, for me as a guy that likes light swing weighting bats, I mean, it flows right out of the hand and swings super light. Pop, I mean, if you get it 100% there, it's gonna go a really long way. I mean, you can see in the video, I got a couple there that probably leave the yard. And I mean, really looking at this thing, I mean, you love the bright colors. I mean, it's definitely something. I mean, I really enjoy the colors here. And then it is effortless when you swing it off the bat. I mean, I don't have to try for anything. It just comes off my shoulder and the barrel goes to the baseball. And overall performance, I mean, this is the type of bat I would use in a game. I mean, light, big barrel, I mean, you name it, I want it on this bat, and especially the flashy colors. And I mean, that's my official review.
Here at Clemson's Doug Kingsmore Stadium with Tigers redshirt freshman right-hander Dane Moeller, Walton product,
Yes,
a guy who made the most of his time at LakePoint Sports on his way to the ACC. Dane, man, it's great to see you again.
Yes, sir. It's nice seeing you.
We had you showing out in Walton uniform in our field, 6'4", a Georgia uniform for the feature games. What did those games and those experiences at competition level mean to you as a developing player?
You know, it was awesome. I cherish every moment. It was just going out there competing with my best friends. I look back on those times and realize, like, I got to compete against, in Georgia, the highest level of athletes. Futures games was big, but I got to do it alongside my best friends. So I look back and that meant the world to me.
All right, I want to dial it back. I'm going to show you a video. Hit back the archives here. This is the 2022 Georgia Dugout Club. You in an outing against Ola, 4 innings, 6 strikeouts, 1 hit, no walks. What do you remember in particular about this performance?
That was my sophomore year. I remember it vividly. It was, I look back at that sometimes nowadays, but I remember that was the first outing. Like, I actually had some of my stuff ticked up, and I realized that I could have a pretty good year and see where it goes from there. That was, I remember that vividly.
So coming out of that one, Prep Baseball Georgia scouts said that you were a guy to watch that year. You were in for a big spring, a big summer. That ends up with you in the feature games a couple months later, that Clemson commitment. How crucial was that time period en route to you being here as a Tiger?
Oh, it was huge. I think during that time, I know the rules have changed, but during that time when y'all did such a great job of getting my name out there, like all the prep sports, all that just like helped me out so much, and it just got a lot of publicity and got a lot of just notice from other schools. So it kind of really trending upwards in my recruiting, elevated my recruiting, and it just got me. It's got me where I am today.
The debut here, it took a little bit longer than you anticipated, missing last year due to injury. You get out there against LaSalle, the first 2 strikeouts of your Clemson career. What did that moment mean to you?
It meant a lot to me. You know, the last 12 months have been a battle. There's some days I didn't think I would be on the bump again. Some days I just questioned if I was gonna have my stuff again. But getting out there, it felt like home, felt like where I belong. So it kind of meant the world to me.
Your story now has some adversity to it. If you could go back to the Dane Moeller from that video I showed you, what would you tell him about what lies ahead and maybe getting caught up in things at the time that felt like a big deal but maybe weren't?
I'd say just take it day by day and hang in there. It's like there's going to have great days, you're going to have good days and bad days, and it's just you got to remain level. The sun's going to come up tomorrow. So I think just understand that the game gives and it takes, and just be ready for it all.
Well, Dane, listen, man, I appreciate it so much.
Thank you very much.
Great opportunity to be a part of your baseball journey.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
At IHG's Holiday Inn Express, you can take on Miami, Mexico City, or Minneapolis. Fuel up with free hot breakfast, all while earning points for free nights with IHG One Rewards. Guest how you guessed at IHG Hotels and Resorts.
Welcome back, Cory McCartney with you. We just had a dramatic finish here, a 5-4 win for USA Scout over ninth inning Blue Jays in our game of the day from the Prep Baseball Invitational. And, man, what a showing there. Saw ninth inning putting up a real fight in the bottom of the fifth inning, but USA Scout emerging with a one-run victory. And that takes us into our Aspen Hospitality Group moment that matters. And the moment that mattered in this one ended up coming off the bat of Preston Powell as we had to the top of the fifth inning. And 2 runs that ended up looming absolutely large as Powell in this matchup, he thus far had a strikeout and a fly out. And here he gets pitched and able to lace this one 82 miles an hour off his bat into left field. And here comes 2 crucial runs for USA Scout that end up allowing them to hold on, because we're talking about a completely different ball game in the bottom of the fifth with that fight that the ninth inning Royals put up. If we don't get those 2 runs, they're walking it off if Powell doesn't come through. So a moment that truly mattered for USA Scout in that one. All right, now we're going to turn it over to our player of the game. And, man, this had some good entries in this one. Powell was an opportunity there to be player of the game for USA Scout. You had Geno McKinley, who had 2 RBI in this one. On the ninth inning side, we saw some nice play from Jackson Clifton, who was 3 for 3 with 3 RBI. Hard, though, not to go with S.C. Spradley in this one for USA Scout, the Lowndes 2030. Playing in his first event here at LakePoint Sports. Starts off on the mound, 3 innings pitched, gets 7 strikeouts. Also comes through at the plate, goes 2 for 3. So a big moment there for the Lowndes 2030 and living it up on the mound and at the plate. So able to emerge as our player of the game in this matchup. Pool play continues throughout the day today, by the way. The top 9 teams advancing to Sunday's bracket play, all heading towards the championship game, which is slated for 6 p.m. on Sunday night. If you can't make it out to the Baseball Village, you can find all those games live or on demand with LakePoint Live, powered by Aware TV and Pixelot. And you will not want to miss our next broadcast coming to you on Thursday as we bring you coverage of the second week of the Spring Break Invitational. We'll have a 10 a.m. first pitch between Marysville out of Ohio and Illinois powerhouse Lincoln Way West. It's basically baseball and brunch. You can join us at work, or of course you can go back and watch that one on demand as well. Those are always going to be, as usual, available across all our social channels. So you can check out Facebook, X, YouTube, find some clips on Instagram. And of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't try and get you to join me again a little bit later today. 2:50 p.m. We've got a Rise Hoops Tip-Off Classic broadcast. It's the Atlanta Celtics. It's Stars basketball out of Tennessee. You can catch me, Mike Cyprian, on that call. Again, available for free on Facebook, X, and YouTube. So you're definitely not going to want to miss. So there's going to be some high-level guys you're going to see next March Madness playing in this game. You're not going to want to miss this one. 2 March Madnesses from now. These are 2027s. But hope you join us for that one. Until next time, for Jack McCartney, Avery Hunt, I'm Cory McCartney. And for now, we're stepping out from LakePoint Sports.